Minecraft in the United States in one weekend made more money than Snow White has made globally after 3 weekends. That's how bad it is right now.
Literally the only person there. And do you not understand how humiliating this is? Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
When we look, you can see families were more than willing to go to the box office to support something like the Minecraft movie, while Rachel Zegler's Snow White continues to plunge.
There's no way that Snow White is going to recover.
Warner Brothers' Minecraft movie versus Disney's Snow White, which in theory should be quite a battle, but it's not even a fair fight. And it's pretty hysterical, actually, to watch.
I don't think they're gonna buy it. I don't think they're gonna watch it. I don't think they're gonna like it.
We're talking about ultra-far leftists, people who believe that men and women are a figment of your imagination, that your money is not your own, that your family is not your own, and that your country is not your own. That's what
Rachel Zgler is a loudmouth bill.
Every single one of these reviews is just absolutely brutal. And what you also need to know is that these are not politically driven reviews. I mean, most of them are from the camp that should be supporting Disney, that should be behind this new progressive take on Snow White, and yet they can't because the film is apparently just that bad.
But it says, meanwhile, over in the kingdom of crumbling crowns, Disney's Snow White dropped like an enchanted apple.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
Snow White, of course, famously played by the insufferable girl boss narcissist who's just clinical at this point.
You know, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it, you didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White. Right. You should shut up and do the job.
BBC said Disney Snow White has a major identity crisis.
Now, there is no doubt about it that Snow White 2025 is considered by far one of the worst box office failures, not just with Disney, but also in the entire film history when it comes down to live-action remakes.
Well, we all basically knew that Snow White was going to be a massive failure at the box office because of Rachel Zegler's controversial statement
saying that audiences will always line up to see her no matter what she does.
Every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
You know what's interesting? Rachel Zgler.
Doesn't need a prince to save her, and not surrounded by 7 weird people. Oh, okay, just CGI fictional goblins, I guess.
And if you disagree with this sentiment...
Interesting about all this is that the only person waiting in line to see Snow White was...
Please? What they really mean is they're describing a worldview that hates you, that hates everything America stands for.
I don't need your business. Thanks.
It seems that the big mouth Rachel Zgler totally loses it after seeing the jaw-dropping opening numbers for the Minecraft movie and discovering how it absolutely demolished Snow White at the box office. You simply won't believe how Disney ended up setting itself ablaze, practically passing the crown over to a crew of pixelated heroes. That's right, folks. While the iconic House of Mouse is desperately trying to promote its misfired live-action Snow White, the fresh, unstoppable Minecraft movie has steamrolled over the box office, turning Disney's latest disaster into something that looks more like a clumsy, amateurish YouTube skit.
So, it got destroyed at the box office. Here's the box office numbers. The Minecraft movie made $60 million on Saturday. Snow White made 2.
And of course, this weekend, Minecraft came out, which has absolutely dominated the box office, done significantly better than analysts even projected. And now we're finding out that Snow White has officially crossed $160 million.
Remember when all the so-called film gurus laughed off the Minecraft movie? They swore it was too basic, too kiddie, too block-shaped to pull grown-ups into multiplexes. Well, plot twist, those hot takes just aged like milk. The pixel-powered adventure blasted out of the gate with a mind-blowing 300 million global debut, turning every smug prediction into pure comedy gold. Now flip the script to Disney's live-action Snow White, which limped to roughly $77 million. After weeks of praying for a miracle. Yes, you heard right. Despite a marketing war chest big enough to fund a small country and wall-to-wall hype, the Mouse House face-planted so hard they'll need industrial-strength amnesia to forget this flop. Here's the kicker. Disney bet the farm on nostalgia, brushed off every fan warning, and basically rewrote its own fairy tale playbook, then acted shocked when moviegoers stayed home. And we're only in Act 1. Buckle up, because the fallout includes back-office brawls, legendary finger-pointing, and a leading lady who seems to have forgotten she's playing one of cinema's most treasured characters. Grab the popcorn. This meltdown is just getting started.
Turned over 157 million while earning another 144 million internationally. The Minecraft video game was introduced in 2011 and sold more than 300 million copies. So it actually has a fan base, user base, people that care about it. In theory, Snow White should as well. Snow White's the movie that made Disney, the studio. They should have been more cautious and careful with their own IP. It's $1 billion IP. The Disney Snow White, faithfully adapted, would have made $1 billion.
The self-proclaimed, ever-chatty upstart smack in the middle of this Hollywood sideshow. For reasons that still boggle the mind, Disney thought it was genius to hand its crown jewel role to a newbie who couldn't stop blasting the very film that built the entire Disney empire. Yes, that same 1937 Snow White that put Walt on the map, birthed an animation dynasty, and still warms hearts across the globe. Zegler? She waved it off as hopelessly old-fashioned. Bravo, Disney. Way to entrust your most treasured fairy tale icon to someone who treats the original like yesterday's trash. Scroll any fan forum and you'll see the uproar. Viewers say Zegler turned a timeless story into a soapbox lecture. During press junkets, she didn't just critique the classic, she dragged it, labeling its themes outdated and irrelevant. Talk about a PR spell gone horribly wrong.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. Super weird. So we didn't do that this time.
Picture this. Fans are hyped for a magical, true-to-heart Snow White revival. Then the star steps up and basically roasts everything they ever adored. Who asked for a 21st century scolding wrapped in fairy tale glitter? Nobody. Yet here we are. To be clear, Rachel Zgler isn't the sole reason this movie is nosediving, but her off-key, headline-grabbing comments are pouring gasoline on the fire. You'd think Disney would pull her aside, hand her a polished PR script, and say, maybe don't trash the classic that launched the entire studio. Instead, they let her run wild, sounding off about how the original Snow White needs fixing. Shocker, lifelong Disney devotees aren't thrilled to have their childhood favorite corrected by a newcomer who seems to shrug at the story's roots. The result? Crickets in the theaters and rows of empty seats. Fans came for nostalgia and magic, not a lecture, and when they realized they weren't getting the fairy tale they loved, they voted with their wallets and stayed home.
She's literally the only person there. And do you not understand how humiliating this is?
Disney's top brass has been bizarrely silent, watching this train wreck unfold as if they have zero clue why the fandom is raging. Remember when the Mouse House was the undisputed king of family fun? Now it's like that out-of-touch uncle who crashes the party, boasts about the glory days, and then forces kale smoothies on guests who just want a slice of birthday cake. Sure, a tasteful upgrade can be refreshing, but let's be real. When Disney tinkers with its crown jewels until they're practically strangers, you can tell the storytellers have wandered off the fairytale map and straight into a creative wilderness.
So you had the marketing material not being all that good. A lot of advertisements were really mediocre for this film. And to top it off, they made tons of changes and they strayed away from the source material, which upset a lot of fans.
Insiders whispered that this Snow White fiasco was doomed from day one. The script went through a revolving door of rewrites, each one clunkier than the last. stacking on woke talking points like overstuffed luggage. The writers spent so much time congratulating themselves on being forward-thinking that they skipped the one ingredient every blockbuster needs: a plot audiences can actually root for. Instead of guarding that classic fairy tale sparkle, they crammed in political sermons so glaring you half expected campaign banners fluttering behind the dwarfs. With the magic smothered before cameras even rolled, the crash landing was all but guaranteed.
Whereas the Snow White model is the message ad infinitum, shoved directly up your ass, and, most importantly, in the most insufferable possible way, like screamed at you by an ugly woman for 2 hours.
It only gets messier from here, but before we get into it, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because let's be honest, unlike Rachel Zgler, I'm nothing without your support. Now, here's the real tea. A handful of fans who caught the early screenings claim the film felt more like a dull lecture than the enchanting adventure they were promised. So, what did Disney do? They doubled down on those preachy monologues. Now, they're stuck with a humiliating box office flop and a very public black eye, yet they still pat themselves on the back for being forward-thinking. Meanwhile, while Disney was busy shooting itself in the foot, the Minecraft movie was raking in cash like it was printing money.
And so let's see how they fared against each other. The Minecraft movie breaks box office record with $300 million global opening, while woke Snow White slips again. Minecraft movie was a big winner, debut weekend, $300 million.
Critics dismissed it as just another video game flick, but they totally missed the big picture. Minecraft boasts a devoted fan base spanning generations. You've got kids gaming away on their tablets, teenagers streaming every thrilling moment on YouTube, and even adults who've been constructing blocky empires since the game's early days. It turns out that offering a fun, non-political adventure is the secret sauce to a massive hit.
Encouraging to see a movie that decided to do the opposite of Snow White, which is, according to all available reviews, including from the people that I trust the very most on this platform, it is non-political. The Minecraft movie does not try to beat you and box you about the ears with the message. It is just silly fun for kids, which is what a kids movie should be.
The theaters were absolutely packed. Some screenings were so wild and loud it could have easily passed for a rock concert. I mean, it got so out of control that even the cops had to step in, escorting a few unruly kids out because they were causing such a ruckus while having way too much fun.
Okay, and the cops had to escort the rowdy teenagers out. The Minecraft movie is doing something magical. It's creating a live audience reaction event where people are going to just be part of something to interact with the movie itself. The kind of thing that really creates like a kinetic movement.
And guess who's taking the stage in voice acting? Jack Black. Sure, he's had his share of controversial moments over the years, but he's a master at infusing a bold, comedic energy that electrifies audiences. Viewers instantly fell for the movie's playful vibe, applauding it for staying true to the spirit of the game. A lesson Disney might have learned from with Snow White. And here's the best part. While critics slammed the film with a measly 40% on review aggregator sites, regular viewers embraced it with an impressive 87%.
You can see here the Minecraft movie is 48% on Rotten Tomatoes, 87% audience score. That's kind of all that matters because these people pay the bills, these people don't.
Who's really out of touch now? This is exactly what happens when studio bigwigs stop focusing on letting creatives deliver genuinely entertaining stories and instead get caught up in moral grandstanding. Critics may whine all they want, but the paying public has spoken. After all, their wallets are louder than any self-righteous film review. It's 2025, and Hollywood is finally realizing that preachy politics don't bring people to the theaters. Audiences aren't allergic to social commentary. They just want it served with a bit of subtlety instead of being slammed in with all the finesse of a wrecking ball. Yet, some major studios keep cranking out these moral of the week films, only to act all shocked when ticket sales plummet. Snow White is just the latest casualty. Instead of trusting the timeless fairy tale formula, Disney insisted on fixing it. The irony? The original already brimmed with bravery, friendship, and all that good stuff. But hey, the suits decided it needed an update to please the Twitter crowd, a gamble that spectacularly backfired. Now they're left with a multi-million-dollar lecture that fans just can't stand.
This movie exists, by the way. You can't tell me Minecraft is the worst movie of 2025 when Snow White exists. That's right. Minecraft movies are going to make more in the weekend than Snow White's made in its entire theatrical.
On the flip side, the Minecraft movie shot to success simply because it didn't get caught up in lecturing. It treated its audience with respect, delivering nothing but pure, unadulterated, escapist fun. Want to see pixelated zombies chasing your favorite blocky hero? You've got it. Craving an uplifting adventure that the whole family can enjoy? Consider it done. No wonder it's raking in the big bucks. The moral of the story? Shoving woke ideas down viewers' throats just doesn't pay off.
Teens in suits shouting lines, cheering like it was a concert. Check out the energy, unreal. Disney Snow White is flopping hard. Why did Minecraft win? Because they stayed true to their actual audience. If Disney had made a faithful adaptation to the original Snow White, it would have made $1 billion.
All right, let's loop back to the star of this chaotic storm, Rachel Zgler, quickly morphing into the poster child for how not to sell a movie. Is that a fair label? Well, maybe not entirely, since she's not the one penning the scripts or making the executive calls. Still, she makes a perfect scapegoat, and her non-stop chatter was the perfect excuse for Disney to pin all the blame on her. The truth is, the backlash isn't just about Zgler, it's about the entire disastrous film. Fans keep pointing fingers at her, and honestly, it seems like a deliberate move to cover up the movie's flaws. Remember, Rachel didn't write or cast Snow White. Those decisions came straight from Disney's boardrooms, and insiders are whispering about some intense boardroom drama at Disney HQ. Executives are busy throwing blame around, with some fuming over how Ziegler's pre-release interviews damaged fan goodwill, while others argue that management should have reined in her media appearances after the initial PR blunders. This blame game has reached epic proportions, and amidst it all, Zegler is sticking to her guns, doubling down on her modernizing approach, though the audience just isn't buying it. And let's not forget the casting controversy. A Colombian-American actress playing a character famously known for her skin white as snow. Disney insisted the move was all about inclusivity, but traditionalists saw it as a slap to the cherished lore, igniting a storm of debate that overshadowed everything else the film might have done right. For a studio that prides itself on having tight control over its brand, this has been a rookie-level publicity disaster. It'd be easy to dismiss Snow White as a one-off flop, but to fans, it's part of a disturbing pattern. Disney's string of live-action remakes, some ignominiously marred by controversy, others just painfully bland, speak for themselves. This time, they crossed the line. They tainted a timeless classic with a forced ideological overlay and handed the press circuit over to an unseasoned star. And if that wasn't enough, an unnamed Hollywood insider claims there's major infighting behind closed doors. Executives are livid with marketing for not pivoting after early casting backlash, and scriptwriters are being accused of ignoring test audience feedback. In the mix is Disney's once sterling reputation, now sullying under decisions that make the giant conglomerate seem utterly clueless. Snow White was supposed to be a safe bet, but by cramming in moralizing overtones, Disney managed to blow it up right in their faces. So here we are. A humble indie pixel art game has just steamrolled over Disney's big-budget fairy tale remake. You can't make this stuff up. The message from the fans is loud and crystal clear. They want to have fun at the movies, not sit through a sermon. Minecraft proved that even with critics throwing negative reviews, the public's curiosity and appetite for escapist fun outpaced them. Now, as Disney nurses its wounds and scrambles to figure out where it went wrong, one big question remains. What's next for the studio? Will they keep mistaking classic tales for platforms for shallow public service announcements, or will they learn to respect the source material and stop talking down to the very people who buy tickets? As for Rachel Zgler, she might bounce back with a smarter role in a film that cherishes its legacy, or she might continue portraying the so-called misunderstood hero. But one thing's for sure, fans aren't interested in condescending lectures, no matter how modern they claim to be. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to know what you think about this wild Hollywood debacle. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay ahead of the next big meltdown in Tinseltown. We'll keep digging up the bombshell evidence that the mainstream media seems too cautious to touch, because if this showdown between Snow White and Minecraft taught us anything, it's that at the box office, woke is officially broke. Until next time, stay tuned, stay safe, and stay informed.